Hey, it's Remington Amarillo Land Services. We're on this big lighting install, and I just wanted to show y'all some of our techniques that we use, so you kind of know the process as well as we are communicating how we do things. Okay, the guys are installing this tree, and one of our main processes that we do, and they're going to cut this off, but I wanted to show you. So this is a stainless steel screw that goes into that tree, super safe for the tree, and then we leave a little slack in this zip tie so this wire can have some slack and move, and also some slack in this screw. We don't screw that screw all the way in, so we got about 1 inch to 2 inches of growth, but we're still putting enough screws in that it's going to stay tight to that tree. And then we have our lights right up here, and they're on a single point mount. So one mount going into the tree with about 2 to 3 inches of growth as well on those. And so gives plenty of protection for that tree. And then in a few years, you know, this is a maintenance deal. We'll come back and back some of these screws out every few years and back those lugs out and give that tree more time to grow. If you were to tighten these up, this tree would just eat this wire, and it wouldn't be good. So if this was in the grass, we would have a form of protection there on the wire, so a weed eater and that kind of deal would not bother that. Here's some uplight. What we're trying to achieve here is lighting this column. We lit all of the columns to kind of set a perimeter. They're going to be really soft, but our light element here is in the center. This is called a recess light, and then the actual light element is in there inside of a PVC pipe. I'll show you that assembly. You can see it's kind of dark on top, so we have a hex louver in there, and that just helps reduce a lot of the glare. And then anytime that we're not in concrete, I'll show you what the concrete looks like, but anytime we're not in concrete, I add this 8-inch shield around the edge. Then that's going to prevent grass from growing in and helps me stay level in a dirt environment like this. Here's a different style that we're doing. This is called a well light, and so it's a gimbaled well light, so I can make adjustments to that fixture back and forth. And so they're working on installing this area right now. You can see we got other well lights in here, and there's some more well lights. So when we're talking well lights, it's something that you can mow over. Here's that little added piece of protection that we do. Might get them to do another zip tie there. But anyways, you can weed eat over that. Not going to hit the wire. Same method. They got some room for growth, and then goes up there and hits a cluster of lights to light some different elements that we want lit here. That light, here's the assembly of that light. So it's in that tube. There's your light. They're going to take this metal piece off, and then we're going to core drill this right here into this rock. So that's kind of how that goes. We have so much going on. Another cool little feature that we did that's kind of above and beyond, I think, is over here on our path lights. Is we did a let's see, you can see our mount here. It's a stainless steel mount. It's 12 inches deep, 3 rods. It's called a trident and stake, and those are going to hold those perfectly true, perfectly level. So big problem we always have is those getting knocked over or tilted over. They look terrible usually when they're in somebody's yard. Well, that mount's about $100 extra, but if you don't use that, these are terrible to use. These lights, they never look good because they're always laid over. So adding that, it's $100 per fixture, but it's key to a successful lighting job, I think. Some more well lights. These are smaller. These are the micros. Then you can see our recess lights over there. That all looks great. We have some wells inside of here. We raised them up about 2 inches just to try to keep that vegetation off of it. Then you can see that wire going up in the tree. We have quite a few lights in the tree. Let's see, what else we got here? We got a well here. This is the kind of minimal maintenance you got to do. Fall is dropping all these leaves. Over here we got a few floodlights to hit that feature there. Here's another one. So super cool job. We're excited. If you do something different, let me know. We are fairly new into lighting. We've done it a few years. We don't get to do a lot in our region, but we're pushing to grow the market. There's probably one other true lighting company in our area that focuses and specializes in lighting. And what's nice about using us for your lighting is we're all licensed irrigators. My guys are irrigation techs. So when you get into boring, dealing with irrigation, having to work around irrigation, it's not uncommon for us. So just something to think about. If we're going to do it, we're going to be perfect at it. And that's kind of my mentality. I'm not going to come learn something on your property. So we're gone through a lot of training, highly trained, gone through ILI. We're AOLP members. And so a lot going on. I had my new guys here and they set all these lights in the wrong place. It's frustrating at times. So my guys, my 2 licensed guys are here. They're going to get some things moved around to what I like, to what was actually drawn. And we don't leave here until it's perfect. And so we've been here at night the last few nights. A lot of specialty stuff, a lot of hammer drilling and core drilling going on. And it's just 2 guys here today. And so right now they're running the core. Okay, this is the other backyard, the pool side. And so what we did there, we have some nanos uplighting this area, and you can kind of see I put in here nanos on risers to get out of these shrubs and like this. So what we're trying to figure out, and when I come to set everything, is balance, you know, because I have a much longer throw here, shorter throw there, to get all that balanced and looking right. I think I'm going to remove one of these area lights. It's now that I have our bollards in up there, I'm really liking what they're doing down here, and these kind of take away from it. So probably pull that top one there, just because it's also kind of a glare issue. We have hardscape lights under these 2 ledges, so that turned out really nice. Over here is, and I'm going to show you a few more cores. So we cored this one in, ran in there, re-mortared that, got the same column lights that I showed you earlier. Here's our wire path, you can kind of see it. They got to put dirt around this hub. There's a hub there that lights this area and those top areas over there. You can see that we trenched here, very minimal damage, which what makes this so nice. And then we haven't cleaned or come back here and fix this yet, but just kind of gives you an idea of how we get to that point. So we took our grinder, wire runs all through here to get to this light. And what our goal was, this is kind of shaped a little different. So we came in at about right behind this post, 2/3 of the way back, and it really did a really nice job. So they got that cleanup to do, and then lighting this tree, we came in and did some green foliage lenses on these micro well lights, and then I went ahead and added some of these recess lights here, so they gotta clean that up and remortar that today. And then I put these to light this wall in these planters, and I'm hoping that when we can swap this planter out, I can go at the bottom. But for now, I was really scared to try to core into that. These are prone to cracking, especially wintertime. So I brought it to the edge, and I'm going to show you something we didn't do good. This is the first mortar job they've done, and so all that's coming out. We're going to grind all that out, redo it. It's not to our standard. It was kind of a learning process here, and none of us like it. So, you know, we're going to grind that out. We're going to fix it. We don't leave anything that we don't like, that we're not willing to show off. And I'm showing you that. It's embarrassing. Not to our standard, but anyway, it'll be fixed. We're going to try this method this time. That's like a mortar caulk, and just try to keep it a little bit cleaner, and do a better job. The other side, they did a pretty good job there. I was fine with that one, but so over here where it's really going to be seen, that's where that mortar caulk's going to come in, hopefully, and do a much better job of hiding how we got to the light. But super cool property. Up there we have those bollards, those 4 bollards, and what's really nice about those is they're lighting that staircase really well, and then are those steps, and then this spiral staircase was freaking impossible to light. We were really scratching our heads on how to light that, because wherever you decided to put a light was just a glare bomb. So I decided to put those 2 bollards at the approach, and I'll show you from up top. But the way they cast the light down, they hit every step. It's not a glare bomb. They're lighted so well. Super safe now. So really cool outcome. We were hoping that's what we would get, and we did. So let me take you up there. Okay, now we're up top. My guys have to clip these off. So what we did was we zip tied these up here for now. She has some problems with her deck, and it's going to get replaced. So we just temporarily installed these. I think they're safe enough for now, but we're gonna have to come and pull these back down so they can get the new deck installed and make that better. But it turned out great. We ran the wire in the gutter, and they left us extra wire that we can easily cut those, get them out of the way, because these railings will have to come down soon. And then over here we have linear light under there, and just helps balance this area. Really cool space. Let's see what these guys have figured out. CD's my lead, and they had a repair joint coming across here, and so they've just used that to carry that into that bed. We tried to bore into it a few places, couldn't get in. Somebody did a really good job on these walls. They got really deep footers. So they've been working on that. CD, what's been the coolest thing about this project?
Coolest thing? Probably the ballards up on the top. I think those are probably the coolest.
What's been the hardest thing?
Really grinding and coring.
Yeah.
Getting everything into set in stone. The downlighting wasn't too bad, other than our big tree back there. We went pretty high with the lights, and so climbing up there and getting everything tied up there was a little difficult, but not too bad.
What's the biggest thing? What's the biggest takeaway from this job? What's the biggest learning curve?
Learn your easiest route to wire your home runs. Get everything planned out in the ground first. Get it kind of laid out before you want to go and start just wiring stuff up. Know your wire drop. Know exactly what you're putting in before you get to it. Probably.
Has the customer, from what she's seen, has she liked it so far?
She loves it. Absolutely loves it. Especially this backyard. This is her favorite so far. We put a lot more lights back here. With all the down lighting, you can see all the shadowing from the trees onto the ground, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous at night. Great place to come use the hot tub.
It's definitely more dramatic. Like it's more dramatic than the other side, I think.
Oh, big time. Big time. There's just more focal points back here that we could capture. More trees. She has a lot more detail in the rocks and all the work she has here, so we're able to really highlight that and kind of draw you to it.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
You gonna be done today?
Be close.
So we're an hour and a half from home, so they've been spending the night up here. It's just cheaper to get a hotel than driving 3 hours every day. Tyler?
Yo.
What's the Tyler's one of our other irrigation technicians. What's been the hardest thing on this job?
Hardest thing on this job? I mean, I really wasn't a fan of the getting the wire into the gutters over there just because it's a little sketch, but other than that, pouring and grinding the tracks for our wires.
So that's super technical, super hard to make look right,
Yep.
get it blended back in.
Yep.
What's been the funnest thing? What's the coolest?
I'm a big fan of those bollards.
Yeah.
That, and then I think the lights we added back in that pergola, I think they really add a little bit extra back there. It
Yep.
looks really nice.
Yep. So we didn't have that designed in, and it was a miss on our part. So after seeing some of this stuff is once you turn the lights on, it's totally different than what you think, and so we went in and chose to add 2 more lights in that area and change some things, but her price didn't change on that. I felt like that was a miss on what I did. So y'all gonna wrap it up today, you think?
I think so. I think it's doable.
What's the biggest thing you've learned on this job?
Biggest thing I've learned is really you just got to be meticulous about like when you're doing your connections, because one wrong connection and you're gonna have a light that doesn't work.
Yeah. So tell me about your connections. Like, what's the process?
So first things first, I'll get all my wire cut to where I want, then strip everything out, then kind of make a game plan of how I want to wire everything in. So I've got wires coming from this tree over here, and then from around over here, and then I've got our line going over here to tie to this light, and then go onto the concrete, and I've got this light. So I figured just do wires coming from this way into one end, wires coming from this way into one end.
How's that connected?
So pulling out here, we've got these little butt connectors. This is smaller than what I'm using here, but get these.
And then you have a tool.
Wire. Yep, little crimper here. Just fits around the butt connector and then crimps down. Once I get one side crimped, got to be sure that I throw on my heat shrink. Otherwise, I'm going to be redoing it.
How many times have you redone it?
Here, I've had to redo it once.
That's good. I usually redo it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And then, yeah, once I get my heat shrink on, butt connect the other side, and then...
So what's special about this heat shrink? Is it different?
I mean, it's got something on the inside, right?
Yeah. So it's marine grade.
Yeah.
So when we do that, it typically oozes out. You can kind of see it there.
Yep.
And it's probably the best water connection that you can do in lighting, any connection, but it takes a ton more time, right? It'd be way easier to put a wire nut on, but those fail.
Yeah.
So this won't fail, and so cool. It's a cool deal, and it's just the little extra that we try to do.
You got to be careful if you're using a torch, because you can ruin your heat shrink if you're not careful.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Anything you want to educate us on?
Be meticulous.
Yep. Yeah, might as well just do it once, right?
Yeah.
Okay.